Indeed, a pleasant welcome to all of you. This is the executive mansion. We live from the Edward B. Kesse military barracks, where the Liberian president, Joseph Boakai, has come to identify with victim of the recent fire incident at the EBK military barracks here in Shuffling, Margibi County. So welcome. This is the executive mansion. So this is the Minister of National Defense, the retired Brigadier General Geraldine Junior George is the Minister of National Defense, retired Brigadier General Geraldine Junior George. So welcome. This is the executive mansion, live from the Edward B. Kesse military barracks in Shuffling, Margibi County, where the President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, has come to identify with victims of a recent fire incident at the barrack facility. So welcome. So you see military personnel, armed military personnel are well positioned to give the President a wonderful welcome here at the barracks here in Shuffling, Margibi County. Specifically is the Edward B. Kesse military barracks. So armed AFL personnel are deployed to welcome the President. They are the EBK military barracks. So while we were here, we saw the arrival of the Minister of National Defense, retired Brigadier General Geraldine Junior George, arrived as part of a bit of the President's visit here at the EBK military barracks here in Shuffling, Margibi County. Armed military personnel, in a very, very wonderful position, in very wonderful positions to give the President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, a wonderful welcome here at the military barracks. That's at the EBK military barracks in Shuffling, Margibi County, where the President is expected to pay a visit to victims of a recent fire incident at the military barracks. That's the EBK military barracks. So here you have these different armed personnel. So historically, this barracks was named in honor of Edward B. Kesse, who served as former Minister of National Defense and also key official, one of the founding members of the Governing Unity Party, Edward B. Kesse. This military barracks was named in his honor and served as Minister of National Defense. So these are armed military personnel. This is activities in addition to activities linked to the official celebration of Armed Forces Day. Series of different activities have been taking place in terms of these different military activities. The symposium, you have the marathon as well. So the President will on today, very shortly, pay a visit to victims of recent fire incident that affected some component of the Edward B. Kesse military barracks here in Shuffling, Margibi County. This barracks was named in honor of Edward B. Kesse and served as Minister of National Defense. So the President, as part of showing solidarity with individuals in arms, will visit them to extend his messages of sorrow for such an unfortunate situation. So welcome, this is the Executive Mansion. We're live in Shuffling, Margibi County at Edward B. and Kesley Military Barracks. So welcome to all of you. Welcome, President Boakai. Very shortly paid a visit to the different victims. So high-profile military personnel are arriving. They are arriving at this occasion, at this area. Very, very tight security protocol. You see these different armed AFL personnel have been deployed, ensuring that this place is on a maximum protection so that people act with an established safety protocol. So there you have the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Colonel Davison Fire Fole, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Colonel Davison Fire Fole, just arrived. Like we mentioned, high-profile military personnel are coming at this occasion as the President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai Senior, pays a visit to victims of recent fire incidents at the Edward B. and Kesley Military Barracks in Shuffling, Margibi County. So across there, you see the Minister of National Defense, retired Brigadier General Geraldine Junior George, in a chat conversation with the Chief of Staff, General Davison Fire Fole. They're having some chit-chats, some conversations while they expect the arrival of His Excellency, the President of Liberia, Joseph Boakai. So this is the Executive Mansion, coming to you from the home of the 23rd Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Liberia, specifically the Edward B. and Kesley Military Barracks, where the Army core values include loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Those are core values that drive the military. Talk about loyalty to the country, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. This is the home of the 23rd Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Liberia, the Edward B. and Kesley Military Barracks in Shuffling, Margibi County, where the President of Liberia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia pays a visit to victims of recent fire incident at the EBK Military Barracks. See these armed military personnel then well deployed, ensuring that order is maintained so that people work in line with established security protocols. Welcome. This is the Executive Mansion, coming to you from the home of the 23rd Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Liberia, where the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Boakai Senior, pays a visit to victims of recent fire incident that damaged some parts of the military barracks. So, you know, next week the Armed Forces of Liberia will celebrate Armed Forces Day.
There's a ceremony at the Barclays Training Center always.
So welcome. This is the executive mansion here at the 23rd Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Liberia, the Edward B. and Kessley Military Barracks in Shelfley, Margibi County, where the President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, identifies with victims of recent fire incidents at this military barracks. So we've seen the arrivals of the Minister of National Defense, retired Brigadier General Geraldine Junior George, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, General Davidson Fire Foley. They all have arrived at this military barracks to welcome the President and his entourage, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed So I saw him come with a car following up. So kindly share the live. This is the executive mansion. The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Boakai Sr., identifies with fire victims of recent fire incidents that damaged some housing facilities of the military barracks. So you see these armed AFL personnel. So this is the EBK military barracks, the home of the 23rd Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Liberia. And so this is the executive mansion. Kindly share. There you have convoy of His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia. The convoy of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia.
Excuse me, sister, don't say that. Please stand up, please.
Making his way to the barracks. And there you have this escort vehicle.
Excuse me, sir.
Have escort one. So this is another one that makes its way. Yeah, escort one just arrived. And this is another one. So the official convoy of the President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai Sr. These different vehicles in the convoy have already started arriving. You have Escort 1. And this you have another EPS vehicle. So welcome the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia. Identifies with victims of recent fire incident at the EBK military barracks. So, His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, so the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Boakai Senior.
So the President will then meet with the Leader Minister and
Disembarks his vehicle.
Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia. And then after he would then
The President
shake hands with
his vehicle and have handshake
officers
with the Minister of
of
National
the Armed Forces
Defense,
of Liberia. These are high-ranking officers,
Brigadier General,
all wearing their ranks.
General George,
They would then
and
at least
the
shake
Chief of
hands
Staff
with
of the Armed Forces.
His Excellency President Joseph Boakai, and after
Visit.
then the President will be escorted to where the incident occurred, and then he will meet with the victims.
President Boakai.
Commander, William Mercer. Okay, so now the President
The President walked with escorted the Chief of Staff and Minister of National Defense to the affected buildings, structures. This is the executive mansion. Michelle, the president of Liberia, the chief of the armed forces of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Boakai Senior.
No, so presidents.
Mr. President, I present to you the Brigade Commander for the Moiti, who will brief you on the finance.
So good morning and welcome to the UBK Barracks. On the 1st of February, by 2 a.m., there was this fire in this apartment, believed to be deriving from an electrical shock. An investigation is proceeding currently, but the code will be forward to the health authorities in subsequent time. So the 3 families were actually affected. 3 family heads were actually affected, and they are being relocated to other apartments, pending the renovation of these apartments that were damaged. But so far, there were no life loss. Properties were lost, but we are grateful that there was no life loss, and the soldiers, only a timely intervention, managed to contain the fire from spreading out to subsequent apartments. So that's it, sir. You can watch through it and see the damage for yourself. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to. What's the family?
Yeah, get them up here.
You can see them.
Up here, up here.
There are 3 families. There's a soldier, there's one, and what the other person? There's a soldier. So there are 3 families, 1, 2, 3. Their family, their dependents, all belong there.
So we're here to just visit with you, let you know how things have been and you thought about it. I think it's a little bit fortunate that you're just a little bit decongested before this happened.
Exactly.
It's been a very difficult thing. But I want to sympathize with you at the same time. I just want to say to you that you can also help to help restore a building and also to be able to control you. And we will do a full assessment to see what kind of assistance we can do.
We want to take a tour first, so you see. Just open this place, then the president see. Some of the damage.
So the president.
I wonder if this one goes. The room is great.
The president is coming on this side.
So this is one of the affected buildings, one of the affected structures.
The ceiling.
See the damage cost. So this is one of the affected
In
properties.
view of what the damage that has been caused.
Go outside. Another also here is one of the rooms. This person had a very unbelievable soldiers were very prompt and they had to use their own skills to put the fire out, or else the entire block, 2 o'clock in the morning.
She said 2 o'clock in the morning, according to
So What's the family? What the minister?
All the family here.
What the family heads? Where the family heads? So Mr. President has come to say sorry. To say sorry for what happened. They would not easily happen. And let me say this quickly, for those of you that are listening to me, we don't have the opportunity to have the president coming here for such a reason. So today, some people will be blessed. I remember when General Z was here, somebody placed Gabriel and Madam Edding came here. This is Madam Edding continuation. You got the same style. So three of you, you call your name to Mr. President. What's your name, your rank? Where you sign?
Medical community.
Okay.
All right. This is what, 5,000? Okay. And we also brought the bags, right? But
30 bags. She got 10.
10 will come to you, and we'll go to 10 bags. Why the other family?
What the other one? Call your name.
Samson David there.
Simon David.
Charlie too.
Okay. Sorry. What is 5,000 United States dollars to replace your stuff with 10 bags of rice. Okay, what the next present? 5,000 United States dollars with 10 bags of rice. Mr. President also gave additional rice that went to the 14th hospital. And he also make money available to fix this place. Commander?
Yes, sir.
From here you see me. You get the money.
In addition,
Material.
but we have maybe children clothing and things like that. Shoes. That's one you have to know exactly. So they can work with them. Yeah.
One person want to say something to the president? Who's the most senior?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Johnson.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure coming to our day. I say thank you, and I say thank to the Almighty, and also to the family and Chief of Staff. I say thank you, sir, for standing by us in the time of this fortune and what I feel. I say thank you, sir. You can see also here rooms. We hope there will be a time to make sure that they are made in a way that
So the intent of this is to benefit other barracks who will take them from there and made in an apartment where you serve only one family with bathroom and everything in it.
Two now will become one.
Thank you, sir.
We have come to the end of this. Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the men and women in arms, we want to say thank you. This is a good example to have the Commander-in-Chief come immediately. When this thing happened on that Sunday morning, those of you that were around, right? I called Mr. President. He picked the call, and I said, Mr. President, we got this issue. And he was feeling so bad. That's why he's here today. Mr. President, we want to say thank you. It is hope that next time when you come here, it will be for the children graduation, or it will be for football matches or affiliation day, not for such a thing. Thank you, Mr. President, and have yourself a great day, sir.
Let me let you know that because you're in the army doesn't mean that you already make sacrifice for the country. Our job is to make sure that we make it convenient for you. And that's why we started renovating the camp. We started making sure that your lives are comfortable while you make sacrifices for the country. I want to thank you for what you do for Liberia. We stand with you. We'll make sure that during this tenure, a lot is going to happen for the army to improve your living condition, to improve your livelihood. So thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Mr. President, my name is Theophilus. You talked about renovating those barracks in Liberia, particularly the 72nd barracks. There is this issue about those living around the barracks. They are now saying that the soldiers who went there to claim the entire place, they are saying the front view does not belong to the army. Mr. President, do you have something to say about this?
You know, this is one of the things that we have to do in this country. That's why I said to minister to agencies, when you have an agency, make sure a apart from running an office, know your asset, know. So the army people know the demarcation, they know what land belongs to them. If they don't, there's a way to determine that, but we'll make sure that the army is not violating anybody's right.
Are you going to reconsider the appeal? They are appealing to the government now to reconsider them, but because
to reconsider who?
The
occupants.
The occupants.
The army is entitled to decent livelihood that they have placed. God is not making new land. That place is for the army.
Okay.
And the army is going there to take it back.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, folks. So you listen to the president, when he made available 5,000 United States dollars each to the different family heads affected, 10 bags of rice each as well. And he said he has some materials to be given to them as well. And he promised to ensure that soldiers and their family have decent living environment to serve the country. So the president will to make it
because it is their land. So what is not what makes the interest still
Also president. And so the president, His Excellency Joseph Boakai Sr. and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, has identified with victims of recent fire incident at EBK military barracks. The president made a very huge, made some huge donations, if you will, 5,000 United States dollars each to the affected family heads. He also provided 10 bags of rice each to the affected family head. And also promised to give them some materials. And he said he will ensure that these soldiers have better living conditions. So this is
I feel very happy. I feel so much happy. And I want to appreciate the goodness of God and appreciate the president who have taken upon his time to come and do this goodness to us today. We would have been God. Only God. We appreciate God for everything. I appreciate the people in the family, in the government, for everything they have done. I'm so happy. Getting 5,000 United dollars can't be on rest. It takes a bit of God. Where could I have been today? Who would have gone on to me? It is a bit of God. I appreciate God for everything. I appreciate God for my husband also.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, you have a young baby. What is your full name? Yeah. So how do you feel about this donation, the 5,000 and 10 bag of rice from the president?
Our president, thank you for the package of all the children to do more good. I want to tell God thank you for what you want in your heart and in your day. Not before holiday, everything. But as soon as I love the doors, the fire begins to flow on the doors. I don't really know what to say, but yes, for the gift of that. I'm bringing our president here today, and I appreciate him so much. For one night, if you outside, but by his grace, we are filled up, and to bless all, our leaders strength, I will continue to pray, our forces of Nigeria, the strength that will stand for the people, stand for us today. It will be other people.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Indeed, they are beneficiaries of the president's gesture. They're expressing
appreciating.
So they are beneficiaries of President Boakai's gesture. Therefore, they receive $5,000 each, 10 bags of rice. So it's been a really wonderful time here from the 23rd Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Liberia, the Edward B.N. Keseley Military Barracks. So it's really been a wonderful time. Thanks for following.